I think we are live. We should have a few people in here. We haven't gotten the mass exodus from the Langtime studio stream yet, but I think we have a few people in there. So if you can hear us, see us, everything seems cool, let us know.
Now we wait for 30 seconds.
Yes. Okay, it looks like they're wrapping up, so it should be. Thank you. This is my my spell language conlanging hat that I wear for that when I remember, which is not as often as I'd like. And since we were talking paranormal stuff today, witch hat is the vibes. So we're going with it.
Which hat is that?
Yeah. Yes, hat. Yes, David, hat. It's fitting given all the hats we've been putting on things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think people are moved over now. I think we're good.
I'm seeing a lot of comments.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Loud and clear. Everyone can hear us. Fantastic. So hi people. This is the very last stream of the Worldbuilding Festival, which is crazy that it's basically ending, and also crazy that it hasn't already been over for I don't know. It's been a long week.
Crazy that it happens.
Yeah, but it's been very fantastic. So before we get into the topic for this stream, which is going to be entirely shenanigans forward, world building for the paranormal of our now termed Iotaverse, not an Omegaverse, very different.
Not to be confused.
Yes.
Don't want to get sued by that one author.
Yeah. But before that, we thought it'd be fun to do a quick, I don't know, see how people have been enjoying the festival. If you have any thoughts on it, I mean, we'll chat about how we're feeling. But the feedback I've gotten from some of the other hosts, creators, has been very positive. So I feel like the odds of this happening again are very, very high. I think there's enough interest.
Worldbuilding Festival 2026.
Yeah. Clinging on with the sustenance of some fruit pastilles. Pastilles?
Miles is just glad it's not the Sigma-verse.
Yeah, no, we vetoed that one.
I threw that one out. Yes, and Mug. This is my paranormal themed hydration.
So the problem with time for meal breaks is that it would be a completely different time for everybody. I think the only continent other than we have people in most continents that are part of this. I don't know of anyone that's in South America, and I don't know of anyone in Antarctica, but we have all the other ones that people are streaming from. So I don't know. It probably would be a good idea to have some breaks next time, regardless, just randomly timed ones.
As a Viper, I made sure to eat every several hours. And sometimes I slept.
Yeah. Chewing sounds on stream is content. That is true. ASMR, eat lunch with us. Or that could be the cooking streams for next year, you know?
That's true.
Jake volunteers to stream. Okay. 2026, you're streaming from the Amazon so that we can have more continents represented. We just need to find someone that's willing to go to Antarctica and stream from there.
Jake, you can stream from the Amazon as long as you take the southern route from Australia, around the Pacific.
Yeah.
We're building mukbang. Oh no, Nikolai.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a really good time. I think I was the one who floated the idea that, maybe we could do something bigger after that few-day world building stream that you had, where you had a few folks come on for collaboration.
Yeah. My mapathon.
Yeah. And yeah, it's fantastic that it was put together. I was able to watch some from my phone on the first day. I thought that the whole opening was really cool with the.
That was fun.
Yeah, with all the various regions. I thought that was neat. I was able to check in, and every time I checked in, the amount of shenanigans had increased.
Up until that last 10 minutes, 20 minutes, which was 99% of the shenanigans somehow.
And I was at it was Friday, and I was at work. I was at the university, and I was able to do some research and stuff while watching red quill mapping in the background. And I'm a geographer, and it's not all cartography, but I really appreciated the
Yeah.
maps. I thought that was really cool.
Mm.
And then I didn't get anything done on Saturday beside the streams I had. I think I did. Was the Pillar World Ecology one on Saturday, or was that Friday?
There was one on Friday. The first one was Friday. The second one was Saturday.
Then I would have seen a bit of that one on Friday.
Mm.
I think most of the ones I was able to watch through were today. Big shout out to Mihirongs. I'm sure when I watch through some of the other streams, I'll figure out what a strawberry quail is.
Oh, the strawberry kiwi.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it? Didn't it end up being a kiwi at the end? I could be wrong.
Mihirungery.
Yeah. It was definitely fun. Yeah, what you're saying about interactions between the streamers, which I mean, that was definitely like one of the things that I've really enjoyed about being like in the world building space as, you know, a creator and also a consumer. I don't know, what watcher, I don't know. Is just that this is a very collaborative space, both in terms of like building off of each other's methodology, working with each other, a lot of people having different expertise, right? And it's really cool. And so I don't know, I wanted more collaborative stuff. And so I don't know, I was very excited when so many people, like I think every single person I reached out to about doing this was like, oh, that's so cool, let's do it. And I was like, yes. I was worried people would be like, no, let's not. Because it is a lot of work. But it's been really fun.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, I think it was because I've been watching like Alien Biospheres with Bibloridian since like it started, right? And you know, I'd been following David Peterson for a while, got the Art of Language Invention, all that stuff. So to see Langtime Studios on my Chariot stream and see the little critters I made and like that, you know, I think that was really cool, right? Like just kind of bring a lot of folks from across the world building space together, you know, the geography, the conlanging, the spec bio, the geofiction, the intrepid blender speed run that Edgar did this morning.
That was great.
Yeah, that was really cool. It just shows how much variety there is.
Yeah, a lot of variety. And yes, now that we have a lot of inside jokes that I'm sure will come up on random streams and video comments, like Elkurin, the psychedelic Elkurin, which is from the opening world building stream. If you really don't want to watch that, just watch the last 20 minutes and that'll get you pretty far. Yeah. Yeah, Jerry the Cricket. Mythology, yes, we definitely could use more mythology. And I do think that this year we did a lot of like broad level topics, right? Like we had a lot of introductory things where I could see next year people going a little bit more in depth on things. And also I could see people doing more just like shenanigan collaborative type stuff too. I think people really liked the like group world building stuff and like building stuff together. I think that was definitely a theme. Interesting. Wow. Go next year, give me a cricket with a suspiciously yellow bottle. Yes, that would be so funny.
Oh, enjoy your dinner, Miles.
Yes, thank you for hopping in. Yeah, a theme could definitely be interesting. I'll probably send out like a little bit of like a feedback gathering thing at some point just to get like some votes and thoughts and ideas on things. Once I recover from this, which it'll probably be a little while. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, was there anything else we wanted to reflect upon this before getting into the topic of the day? Yes, agreed. Some of the topics were a bit ambitious for the time allotted, and I think some people got very excited. And I mean, I know that if I had done less things, I probably would have put a lot more effort into the things that I had done, but I think it like ended up working out well in terms of, you know, actual time and shenanigans level on stream. Like Hannah and I's clothing world building thing that we kind of came up with a rough plan for it, and then we're like, should we make slides? No. And I was like, well, hear me out. What would be the most chaotic thing is if we attempt to take notes for each other so we don't have to slow it down because we wanted to like get through it quickly and then be able to dive into the drawing. And we were just like, okay, great. And then I was a minute and a half behind where our audio was. So it was, I don't know. I think it turned out fun. Which is good.
Yeah, I think that's why I thought the 3 that I decided to do was also maybe a little ambitious. It's a bit of, I mean, I'm working on the chariot one for quite some time. Getting all the research, reading German sources. I've been learning German over the past year. So I grabbed so there's archaeology and a lot of geography in German. So that's been quite fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we were able to keep the streams in, but yeah, some of them were ambitious. But I think that's just more stuff for next year to to pick up on and carry some of those threads and have more of those conversations.
Yeah, and I'm sure people have a better idea of like how much content to fit into stream lengths, and also no one really had much of an idea of like lengths of streams to request. For the most part, people were just kind of like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, you get 2 hours. So I think we'll have, I don't know. I think we'll know more of what to expect next year and how to plan accordingly. And I could also see people doing less, like maybe do one more heavy presentation stream and then more like just show up shenanigans or stuff like that. Yeah, there wasn't a ton of questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I was very happy a lot of people joined it, and I hope it has a lot of a positive like trajectory in the world building space, just with like people doing collabs and people having this exposure to more areas of the world building space and then exploring that, and I think it could be good.
Yeah, and I think the exposure was really interesting because like for a decent amount of stuff in the space over the last while has been really focused on like the geofiction and the speculative biology and like making the environment for the world. And in the stream, we had a lot on food and architecture and societies and economics and politics and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of moving more in like the culture building and like anthropological direction, which isn't something
cool.
that we've seen as much of. But it is very cool. I mean, we've I guess you've done your stuff and provided sources and things on that. So like, that's been cool. But it's nice that it's kind of broken out.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yes. The ones on Friday I think were the most live viewed. Had the most live views in general. Most of those were at least, I think, like 70 or 80 live weeks, I think, thereabouts, minimum. But yeah, I think people are also just, it's going to take people a while to catch up.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a while to catch up.
Well, I've been seeing the views tick up on the streams that we posted, so they may have had, I don't know how YouTube counts, but, they may have had 80 at the end, and now there's, twice or 3 times as many. So
yeah, some of them are definitely growing. And again, I wouldn't expect too much while the festival is still happening. I imagine over the next like the rest of the month will probably be pretty good. Yeah, so much information. Even the ones I caught live, I feel like I need to go back and watch because it's just definitely a lot. Yeah, that's true. A good jumping off point compilation for world building within the playlist. That's true. To find a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's good. Okay. Are we ready?
Are you ready to crack into the Iotaverse?
I am ready for the
Yodaverse.
Okay. So let me share. I'm going to be taking notes as we go. Okay, so one quick disclaimer I want to add before we introduce the concept of this. Because I feel like we're kind of gonna be making fun of paranormal, romance, and urban fantasy and romantasy to an extent, but I just want to say up front that, like, I feel like we're kind of doing it from a place of love. Like, we've both very much enjoyed these kind of genres and fiction.
Yeah.
And there's obviously, I thank you, a
Yes.
time and a place for different types of things. But, you know, we're going to go through as many tropes of these types of genres and try and make a world, our Iotaverse, that makes as much sense as we can within the constraints of the tropes and themes. Yeah.
Yes, I did have a... No, it's very important. I had a phase in high school where I just consumed all of the urban fantasy that I could find, and at the public library, that very quickly led me into like the paranormal romance and other stuff too. So, like the Dresden Files and Anita Blake were essentially the same to me. And I had a really good time reading all those. And then like a lot of paranormal investigation stuff was very interesting as well. And they share a lot of the same tropes and romances, those sorts of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of, even if the individual tropes are different between some of them, like especially going from like paranormal to romantasy, there's a lot of the more general tropes and the structures of a lot of it I find very similar, which is sort of why we're combining it all. And you do also sometimes see them combined, a lot of those, but yeah, I also tend to read a decent bit of it. I'm still in a bit of a phase of reading them. I find them to be sort of like my, like when I just want to read something fun and I just want to vibe and have a good time, that's kind of what I tend to reach for, in between my more intensive fantasy books that take me a little longer to get through.
And there's some urban fantasy that's built in like a second world that I really enjoy. I think it's called the Craft Sequence, for anyone who's interested in checking that out. And he essentially turns the spiritual and divine systems that exist in other fantasy worlds into economics. And they're at a stage where there is essentially spiritual capitalism.
Oh, that's cool.
Gods need spirits, and follows characters in different metropolises around this world as they engage in, I don't know, spirit law and spirit revolution to overthrow the systems they live with under. It's a very cool series.
That is fun.
There's still a lot of like development in that space.
Yeah, there are definitely entries within these genres that do like the most in a very good way. But we're not worried about that right now. We're worried about the most cliche tropes, which should we just like introduce those first and then...
I think we should introduce the great tropes.
Okay. So first we have the first big trope is the fact that what you commonly see in these series is you coined a world creep, where every book they introduce like entirely new concepts that somehow have fit in with this world all along, and you saw no effects of it, but they were there
the whole time.
Yes. So in light of that, about every 30-ish minutes, we're going to try and pull in another like supernatural race or culture, which you all can help decide which ones we pull in next. So we have like a list here. We're going to start with shifters, but then, you know, do you want us to go into fae courts next or vampires? You know, there's options. And
we're also open to suggestions.
Yes, we're open to suggestions. And then do you want to read some of the tropes?
Yeah. So these are some of the tropes that we tend to see in this kind of fiction. And we're also including like movies and TV as well. You know, Buffy has made a huge impact on me. So in a lot of these series, human governments, you know, the police, the military, they're all useless. None of them can deal with any supernatural threats. No one thinks of bringing small arms to like any confrontation with supernatural beings. There are hidden supernatural societies that no one ever figures out. Everyone is able to keep the conspiracy under wraps at all times, even though it has huge, you know, world-changing implications. A big one from the romance side of things is fated mates.
I'm excited to pull that one in.
That's going to be great. special bloodlines. So, you know, all of these different supernatural creatures and beings all have these special bloodlines that allow them to do different things or inherit different powers. We have to make sure that all supernatural people are hot.
Yes, hot.
And this also works in with everyone that you fall in love with is supernatural in some way. So
Yes.
there are normal people who are special, they're protagonists,
Mm.
and everyone who they encounter who they get the hots for is also is a supernatural being.
Yeah.
But with all the supernatural things around, nothing supernatural paranormal ever affects the economy or any kind of industries. We're kind of pulling on this from one of the streams that Madeline was in. All of these like systems of government and self-organization that all these spiritual like supernatural groups have are ineffective entirely at maintaining themselves.
Yes.
They're all like the UN.
They're there for vibes and vibes only.
Yeah. And all of these groups are also in like sort of a supernatural social stasis, right? Like all wizards have councils, all witches have covens, all werewolves have clans or tribes or whatever, right? Like this is the way they organize themselves, and they do not change.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to see a shifter kingdom. Like, what?
But you are going to see fae and vampire courts, right? Like that's where the aristocracy's at in the supernatural world.
And they aren't peasants. You don't see peasant vampires.
That's what the people are for. That's what the blood bags are for.
They are the peasants.
And a part of these series as well is that all the myths, every legend, folktale, fairy tale, they are all true simultaneously, but they all function on very different metaphysics.
Yes.
Right? It's like there's no...
Bye, Nikolai. Thank you for stopping in. Sleep. Oh, you vote for a fairy kraken romance subplot. Noted.
Noted. So like there's... every group has their own metaphysics. There's no united theory of supernatural magic. Like, you know, ghosts get ectoplasm, vampires, you know, draw on blood. Maybe the vampires are demons. Maybe they're not. You know, there's always a different thing that makes each of these groups work. And they tend to be somewhat homogenous, right? Like, you know, all vampires can be the same. All the werewolves can be the same. And each of these supernatural groups tends to hate each other's guts.
Yes.
They have supernatural blood feuds that are unending.
Yes.
And over the course of these blood feuds that are happening, you know, magic is happening, vampires and werewolves are going at it. None of the normals are able to compute any of these things that they see. So there's a lot of fantastic amnesia. You've got supernatural and paranormal events. They just rationalize them away, or they're magically erased. You know,
how will we deal with it? I don't know. It'll be great.
It'll be great. There's also the bit where each of these different supernatural creatures, they tend to have a false Achilles heel. It's like, oh, well, you've seen all the vampire media. Joke's on you. They don't care about crosses.
Right. Or the sunlight doesn't kill us.
Or the sunlight doesn't kill them. Maybe it's pre-programming. Maybe the vampires are doing false flags. You know, maybe vampires run the media industry.
Yeah.
But it's important that all of these supernatural creatures have their own unique flair, right? Like, you know, our vampires are going to be slightly different from every other vampire, but only in like a minor way.
Right. They're Iotaverse vampires.
Yes. Iotaverse vampires.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
But it is butter. I think that's... Oh, of course. There's also other worlds exist. There's supernatural portals. There are doors to other planes of existence, and people go through them all the time. And you know, this is just a thing that happens.
It doesn't affect anything.
No,
it's fine.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
All right. So we've hit our very stupendous list of tropes.
Yes. Which actually, let's start at the bottom. It's 7:24. So we'll want to add a new one in by 8.
Yes. It is 4:24 for me, so I will say 5.
Oh yeah.
All myths are true at the same time.
Yes. Okay. So the note we had for shifters for like one of the tropes that specifically affects shifters was that they don't have any ecological considerations. Which some of these are like problems that we might try to address versus things we're going to try to perpetuate. Like, we can consider the ecological considerations of it a little. Oh, at 5 a.m., Nemo. Oh my gosh. It's not fine.
I was up by then this morning. That's okay.
I mean,
if you don't have work tomorrow, even if you do have work tomorrow, boss gets $1, you get a dime. That's why you sleep on company time.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we make shifters? What are we thinking?
My thing that I think is great, and it also fits in a bit with the fantastic amnesia, which is why people don't really see shifters, because I think it would be interesting if like if people were turning into like wolves and tigers and things like that all around the streets, that may cause a problem. There's only so many times animals can escape the zoo. Maybe shifters are ecologically based. So if you live in a city, you shift into a raccoon or a coyote or a pigeon. You are like ecologically confined as to what you can turn
into. Okay. So is that going to be based off like, if you are a city shifter, you can only shift in the city? If you travel, do you become a different kind of shifter?
If we're going with clans, maybe there are city clans. And perhaps the shifter clan is tied to their animal. So if there are a lot of pigeons, that means the strength and the number of pigeon shifters is also greater.
Yeah. Maybe if they're like not around enough of their like native version, they have trouble shifting, which might be why they stick to the city if they're pigeon shifters.
They have to commune with their animals. So this is why that you see people feeding pigeons in the park. They need to get energy from the fellow pigeons. A classic case of totemism. Yes, the pigeon shifter clan would be huge in London. And many places I've lived, there would be a large seagull clan, big raccoon clan, squirrel clan.
Yeah. I have another addition to our shifter lore. What if when the shifter undergoes the shift, it releases a type of like off gas or chemical reaction that has amnesic effects? So everyone around them just kind of has like short-term amnesia for a little bit. They're like, whoa, what just happened? Now there's a shifter there. I don't remember there not being a shifter. They're great.
Do they also have a magical girl transform sequence?
Ooh, yes!
So there's a poof, like in Sailor Moon, like the background changes, it becomes nebulous and cloudy, and they're like, and then, the poof, and then they become a pigeon.
Okay. Short-term amnesia causing fumes.
It's just smog.
Which obviously shifters are immune to, so they get to watch the epic sequence, but non-shifters don't.
Non-shifters don't. This is vitally important.
Yes, a dance, a song, all of these things. It's a ritual.
So then you could have a city shifter who is like, I don't know, an ostrich shifter, but they'd have to be in a city with a zoo that has ostriches.
Yeah.
And I would guess that, that may be just like, that may be part of the ostrich shifter diaspora. There may be a small number of them.
Ooh.
Oh, Jan is asking, can people shift into a pigeon or only one specific pigeon every time?
I feel like I lean towards one specific pigeon, but I could be convinced otherwise.
Honestly, it would still apply in London, Ontario. It would definitely apply in London, Ontario. I've lived in London, Ontario. All Londons have pigeon shifters.
Yeah.
And, you know, shout out, they call the river in London, Ontario, the Thames. Of course they do, because that's what settlers did. But the Anishinaabe name for it is the Deshkan Zibing, which means antler river.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I like Jake's idea of Shifter Zoological Association keeping the migrant shifters safe.
Yeah.
Zoos can be meeting points for traveling shifters.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people who work at the zoos are probably shifters themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
circuses, traveling circuses.
Ooh.
We have, you know, well, they could be more than just deer. You know, we've got, yeah, but I mean, a lot of other animals have been pushed out.
What if, wait, I just had a really good idea. What if you occasionally see wealthy people with exotic pets are just because they're shifters?
Oh, wow. Okay. So when Nicolas Cage buys dinosaur bones,
We'll know.
Nemo asks, how do mixed clan shifters work then? Okay, two ways. One, they choose one. Two, chimeras. But maybe that's taboo.
Maybe. Because I was originally thinking that the shifters themselves didn't shift into different things. There was just a clan entity that was sort of like, they still retained their basic, like, clan affiliations, but there was also, like, a mixed version that would take in multiple that sort of counted as, like, the UN, where they would do things for the good of all shifter kind that would be led by a council of other types of shifters.
It's like a clan federation.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking, though, is, so what if a pigeon shifter and a raccoon shifter had a forbidden romance and produced a kid? I think that is what Nemo's kind of going for. Would this kid be a winged raccoon shifter? Or would they take after one of their parents?
I feel like they would take after one of their parents, but I feel like we can't go full genetics with it because that's way too basic, and there has to be some sort of effect, like whichever animal they're closest to when they're born or something.
Maybe which animal? How? Maybe they have level ups they can do.
Okay.
So, like, you know how people see, like, cryptids and stuff, like giant versions of things or, like, weird animals?
Yeah.
You know, people, like, make jackalopes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, you know, the explanation for these kinds of cryptids is not that taxidermists mutilated some roadkill, but actually a jackalope is the product of a deer shifter and a lagomorph shifter having a kid.
Okay.
All myths are true, Madeline. Jackalopes must be real. And so must griffins.
That's true. What if there's a variety of like, what if all are correct? What if you can have one chosen genetically, you can have both, you can create something that's a mix that you shift into, and there could be a level up? Like, what if all could be true?
Yes, they can all be true, and they all require very distinct. Oh, what could they? Yeah, you can hold a different shifting inside of yourselves. Centaurs are the products of horse shifters and human shifters. What is a human shifter? An animal that shifts into a human? That's getting into some Omegaverse territory. We don't want to go that far.
Oh, that's kind of cute. A choosing ceremony.
A choosing ceremony.
I like that.
Yes.
Like, where, like, they reach a certain age and they can see their optional, like, animal things that come from their bloodline, because we got to pull in the bloodline, right?
The bloodlines are very important.
Symbolically choose, like, their house, like a Hogwarts house.
Even if they choose to be chimeric, then they don't get to be in one of the houses.
Ooh.
If they choose to be a chimera, then they don't get to be in one of the clans. because they embrace both of their heritages.
So chimeras are like rogues.
Yeah, they're lone griffins. What happens to the shifter clan if the species they shift to goes extinct? Well, if they don't have an animal to commune with, then they can't shift. So that becomes dormant until some crazy scientist decides to
bring them back,
recreate dire wolves, heavy air quotes.
Yeah. And it would automatically come back when like people that had that in their bloodline, right, would be near that, and they'd be like, whoa, I have this option now.
So when people go to Jurassic Park, they would suddenly unlock their dinosaur shifting. This is very important. Like Nicolas Cage. Jake, they aren't like other pigeons. That's right. The trash griffin shifter is not like other pigeons. Why bring back mammoth? For reasons. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, why? Obviously, I mean, this just makes sense. Why aren't there mammoth shifters? Now we know.
Now we know. Because the last of the mammoths were hanging out on little islands north of Eurasia.
I like this.
Yep.
I like this a lot. Okay. Okay. All right. So what are we still missing with these guys?
So we don't have any other critters yet, so we don't have to come up with reasons why they hate each other. We do need a +1 uniqueness factor.
Ooh.
I think we're. Oh, excuse me. I think we're close to uniqueness. We need a false Achilles heel.
The full moon?
Yes. So they So they don't only transform on a full moon. Maybe they can't shift on a full moon.
I like it. It's the only time they can't shift, because really the moon is associated with their human counterparts, and their human side becomes so strong during the full moon.
When the person in the moon becomes obscured is when they can start to shift. They're actually most powerful with a new moon. In a full moon, their human form is the dominant form, because the person in the moon shines on them. It's connected. Eclipses would be quite interesting, because that would entirely obscure the moon and probably allow giant trash griffins. He's screaming because he knows what the shifters are up to.
Yeah. Also powerful during a lunar exit. Yeah. They would become the moon and would risk the safety of everyone around them.
Oh no, they would entirely destabilize the orbit of the planets. Yeah, maybe chimera shifters create their own found families.
Ooh, edgy main character plus found family.
And they're like how I totally had a brain fart. This is awful. Drag performers make their own families. There we go. Like queer found family for the chimeric animals. Don't have a place at home.
How prevalent are these shifters compared to regular humans?
As prevalent as they need to be.
Yeah.
For the story.
Yes. Bingo. Okay, here's another question though. Okay. How do they impact the food chain? Do they eat as their shifted selves? Do they like, if they're like wolf shifters out in their like little forest bungalow whatevers, do they like become the top predators? How does this affect the food chain?
Yes, so I think they actually fit into the city ecology pretty well. So for urban shifters, that isn't much of a problem.
Right. But in the wilderness.
In the wilderness, I think, I think they would have an impact. But they would also be kind of responsible for like maintaining the kind of ecosystems they exist within, so we can have that kind of hippie vibe going on. And I know in a lot of places, they organize like animal cults, like wolf calls and like those sorts of things. So I could imagine shifters would be very opposed to those kinds of actions. And maybe the deer shifters try to organize a wolf call to like get the wolf shifters to. They're using, see, the human governments are ineffective unless they're being orchestrated by another supernatural group.
Yes, obviously, right? So these are the people that are really pulling the strings here.
It's
This
100%
is
conspiratorial.
PETA, all of PETA, all of these types of like associations all ran by shifters.
Duck Dynasty has a whole new meaning now. They're a bunch of dog shifters. They like shooting ducks in order to go get them.
Yeah.
A human eats chocolate, becomes a dog, and then dies. Oh, yeah, they got to be careful about that kind of thing.
Okay, wait. We have a very important problem that I can't believe we have not dealt with yet.
Yeah.
When they shift, do their clothes go into a magic pocket dimension and reappear when they unshift, or are they naked?
I think because we're making these ties to romantasy, that's the unintentional nudity and the shifting back has a lot of opportunities for.
Does make more problems for them being like outed.
Yes. Yeah.
Random nudists.
Oh, and they can also have caches of clothing.
Yeah, that would be important.
Yeah.
Maybe most of the homeless people you see on the streets are actually shifters that have like extra clothes, right? So if you shift while everyone's experiencing the amnesia, they just reach out to the closest homeless person that gives them, and all the homeless people are actually taken care of very well as positive social change by the shifters.
That is another trope that we tend to see where, various urban fantasy characters, especially in like the paranormal detective stuff, like they have large networks among unhoused folks. So there may be some mutual aid going on there.
Mutual aid / employment of the homeless to provide clothing to naked shifters.
Space Dragon asks, do shifters eat each other when shifted, or do they have an instinct or abilities to detect shifters in their animal forms?
Ooh.
Madeline, I think this is the important.
Yes. Okay. This is the one part I came up with ahead of time, and it is the most important thing. And this is going to, because we have to be careful, right? We have to be careful. Actually, we're just going to do this now. We have to be careful about every single group having their own like logic system, right? We're not crossing logic. But the place that the logic has to be consistent is the like different supernatural types, right? Logic.
Hating each other.
Yes. So what we're gonna have is, wow, I forgot the word. Pheromones. Pheromones are gonna be critical here, and these pheromones are gonna do many, many duties for us. They are going to be how any species or race, whatever, can detect another. This is what makes them all super hot, right? It's really just the pheromones. This can be our basis. Obviously, we'll have to expand on all this, but that can be our basis for the fated mates, especially across species, right? And also for their unreasonable hatred for other species, races, right? It's all their pheromones get whacked, right?
And Seb is mentioning there's an internal recognition within groups because of pheromones. Now, pheromones may not be, I think, we may, different groups may have their own mechanisms for having these. But because they turn into animals, they have pheromones. Apparently for time traveling, and the time traveler's wife, time travelers always appear naked or nude. I think this is a good rule. Not a shapeshifter, but yes, you're still changing dimension. You're still morphing around.
Hot. I feel like even humans are affected a little bit by the pheromones. Like, I feel like humans are overwhelmed by the pheromones. They're just like, oh my God. Like, there's a little bit of like intimidation factors. And also those are like the hottest of
Mhm.
things.
They don't have to be I don't know, whatever the society describes as classically attractive,
Mhm.
but they will be hot.
Conventionally slash societally attractive, but they are hot.
Yes.
Yes.
They just have a thing, right? Those pheromones could also be the source of the mind fog when a shifter changes. Yes, I was thinking
Ooh.
that as well. The pheromones are
Ooh.
pulling double duty.
Okay. This comes from the pheromones. Bam. I love it. I love it.
Jake says, would koala shifters get chlamydia as humans? They would get koala chlamydia.
Yeah.
Maybe it only manifests when they are the koala.
Yeah. Because there's a separation between forms, although like injuries do tend to go like cross.
That is true. Yeah.
Mm.
So maybe those injuries do tend to go across, but
Or maybe koala shifters are immune to chlamydia, like
because they
actually
are
having them.
humans.
Yeah.
Yes, because they're humans who are channeling koalas rather than necessarily becoming the same as koalas. So they're talking about
Koala.
the physicality, like the interiority distinction that you were making in the religion stream.
Oh my gosh, yes. As I say, I may be ace, but I have eyes. And this is like the question of will I take my gut biome with me to heaven?
They're your guardian angels.
Mm-hmm. Content warning filter. Yeah. Do they transform back to human upon death / while sleeping? I feel like upon death, yes. Upon
Yes,
sleeping, no.
because if you if you are like oh, there's a werewolf problem and
Mhm.
you shoot the wolf and it becomes a human, that creates a lot of problems for the human.
And we need the conflict.
Yeah, and we need the conflict. We also need the police and human governments to be useless.
That's true.
Yeah. So if somebody is caught stuck between shifting, then that is also a problem. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. One last thing I can think of with shifters.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of like material or object or substance that can be used to keep someone from shifting? You see that fairly frequently where they'll be like moonstone or something.
I think each clan should have something.
Okay.
Oh, big one. Domesticated animals. So there could be dog shifters and cat shifters and budgie shifters and hamster shifters. I think they would also be pretty prolific. So I think for a cat shifter, you could probably mess with them with catnip. Right? And maybe for like a wolf shifter, it could be something like wolfsbane.
Yeah,
Not from
like it.
any other logic besides like the kind of like homeopathy, like, oh, like is like, right? Or whatever.
Yeah. If it has the name in the name,
Yes.
bingo. Dogwood for dogs.
Yes, there we go.
Crazy cat ladies versus crazy cat owning ladies.
Budgie and budgie smugglers. You put them in.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Are we ready to introduce our next thing, or do we want to go any other general stuff?
I just want to make sure we hit everything. Ultimates are true, so different places, different people around the world can shift into different things. I think that fits, right? Lack of social divides within supernatural groups. So each clan, like you're a pigeon shifter, you're all in the pigeon shifter clan. There's no, I mean, there probably is like a head of each clan. I think that's important. But besides that, and maybe the head of each clan is someone who's elected or whatever, and that allows for political drama where, the protagonist could be elected the head of the clan at some point as a part of their power creep. ineffective councils. Yeah, but like nobody knows how they're formed, and these clans aren't like any good at preventing shifters from doing things they're not supposed to. The Shifter Tribal Federation UN can't stop different clans from going to war. It's all up to the protagonists to do these things. It is the work of individuals. There's a historic rivalry, Nemo says, between the dog and cat shifter clans. And then you get a Romeo-Juliet situation and their kid choosing to be a chimera and bringing peace. And they become a hyena shifter. Or a fox shifter. There's usually an alpha. Yes, maybe. Maybe certain groups have alphas.
Maybe it's based off their natural social hierarchy of the animals, and it's actually realistic.
Yeah, maybe that is the one point.
Hierarchy is.
So, like cats, domesticated cats form, when they're feral, they form like matriarchal cat colonies.
Yes.
So the cats are, the cat clan is a matriarchal clan.
And even wolf shifters don't necessarily like have alphas the way that's in books. Like that would definitely not actually be what they would be like.
No, they'd be families. That's how they'd operate.
Right.
Only orange cats have one brain cell each. Orange cat shifters have to share a brain cell. Are primate shifters possible? I think that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously human shifters too. We just can't tell that they're human shifters.
Oh, that would be so messed up. Well, you can tell they're human shifters because like they wear clothes that aren't quite right, and like a Neanderthal shifter. Ooh.
But there would have to be actual like sufficient Neanderthals to fill their
That's true. They need to be
to power them up.
But every human has a degree. Well, most humans, a lot of humans, not every, but a lot of humans have a degree of Neanderthal ancestry. So maybe
that's not enough.
That's not enough, but maybe they could build it up over time.
But otherwise, like every variation of like ancestry of all species would be able to be shifted into, which I feel like would just be a bit much.
That's true. Can they hang out on 4chan or QAnon? They hang out on 4chan or QAnon. Oh no. Oh yeah, RFK. Yep, from that RFK is a shifter. They can only shift in large cities. Well, they need to commune in order to shift. So they can commune in a large city and then go and shift outside of it.
But they need to spend a lot of time in the city.
Yeah, like the pigeon shifters need to spend a lot of time in the city to build up. Sasquatch shifters, cryptid factions. Let's go. I think the Sasquatches is like the cryptids are an explanation for shifters. The pigeonosphere is really toxic on Reddit. Yeah. Are there fish shifters? Yes, there are certainly fish shifters.
Yeah.
And if you have fish shifters in the city, then maybe they can navigate all the underground rivers that are in cities.
That's true. Maybe they're goldfish shifters. A lot of people got those in the city.
Beta shifters.
Ooh. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, because the cryptids are an explanation for like the chimera shifters who have like kind of left their clans and joined their own houses. Is there a way to forcefully shift someone? That's probably the last thing we have time for.
I say nay.
Nay. You can only mess with them with things that are named after them. Yeah.
The power of names.
Yeah, the power of names.
That's why it affects them. If they didn't call it catnip, it wouldn't do anything. Yeah. In other languages, it probably doesn't do anything. I don't know.
That's true, because it's not just culturally relative, it's culturally absolute, like every culture. Horse shifters confirmed. Of course there are horse shifters. And horse girls would be the most horse shifters. Nay, the bane of foreshifters.
Yeah.
Can't say no to them.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so
stressful force shifting. Oh, that's a thing. Could someone? What you know? Could during like puberty or something like that, could there be periods of time where they can't control their shifting?
I say yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if there's times of stress or whatever, they could actually be shifted. The power of name sounds like an Iotaverse level rule. We'll see. We already have pheromones.
Yeah. Well, to see if that ties back in. Okay.
We need another one.
On what we are doing next. We'll mark off shifter because we did that.
Yeah. Oh. RFK is a worm shifter.
Oh.
Okay. True names do come up in many kinds of supernatural lore. That's true. But we've got, what do we have here? We have fey courts, vampires, different gods and divinities. We've got magic users, ghosts, demons. I think centaurs is kind of covered.
Yeah. We do have one vote for doing gnomes on Jesse's behalf.
Gnomes. Okay. Would you still love me if I were a worm? No shark shifters, sorry. Gnomes. Okay, we're getting more gnomes.
Gnomes. All right.
If you don't speak up, then you don't get your... All right. So
gnomes, earth spirits, diminutive beings, originally described, whatever, able to move through earth. Some call them rooted in ancient Greek daemons.
They also have an association, like I think they're in alchemy as well. Like in early modern alchemy, they have associations with the earth and things. We of course have garden gnomes.
Oh, it's true.
That's true.
Okay. Are we going to keep them as earth dwellers that can live underground and kind of shift through the earth?
This is a good question. Shift through the earth. I don't want... yeah. I also know gnomes are also associated with the working class and working people. I've seen like garden gnomes that have like on strike and stuff like that on them as well. Gnomes can hide as garden gnomes in a city.
I do like that.
Maybe, yeah, like maybe they're not... Sure, they can be earth spirits, but maybe they're more like specifically like horticulture spirits or agriculture spirits.
Okay.
Jan says gnomes can hide as garden gnomes in a city. Whenever you see a garden gnome, it might be a real one. Okay.
What if
there is a project, quote unquote, called Project Camelot, and it's people who believe in aliens. They think aliens are real, and one of the alien species they think is real are called raptors, and they're literally just raptors from Jurassic Park. And they're like, whenever you watch a Jurassic Park movie, you never know whether one of those raptors is CGI or real.
Okay.
And I like that with the gnomes. Whenever you see a garden gnome, it could be a real gnome.
What if? So either we do that, or what if all garden gnomes are portals that gnomes can interface, and so they can zap around any garden gnome anywhere?
That is good. Because we have portals to other worlds.
Yep.
And they need to be all over the place and not affect anything.
Yep.
Okay, yes, the garden gnome statues are portals.
Yeah. So it could be a garden gnome, right? Because there could be one coming through it at any point in time.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe gardens are the portals?
Maybe garden gnome.
So like gnomes have like a encouragement to kind of produce and maintain these kind of cultivated landscapes. They really like the Victorians.
Yeah. So they're like drawn to cultivated or natural or either.
Maybe, yeah. I think cultivated is very important. Or yeah, no. Maybe they started as just general like plant or like flower spirits. But then people make gardens and they bring a lot of flowers together, and this kind of helps them out. A gnome network.
Yes.
They have a gnome internet. Internet has a G in it, of course. You get to decide where. Maybe they need some kind of sacred geometry for the portals to work.
Ooh.
And the sacred geometry is produced by different gardening traditions. Do they inhabit the garden gnome, or do they just step through them? I think maybe they step through them.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah. Like when people make gardens and they are organizing their gardens, gnome feng shui. So when people are putting together gardens, they don't realize it, but they are actually creating this sacred geometry that gnomes can go through.
Bye, Seb.
Bye, Seb.
Okay. So, and their purpose can form just from the forest. Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea also of there being more like natural feral type gnomes and more like
maybe our difference with these gnomes is they could be, you know, they could be like nymphs, they could be fawns, right? Like they could be a host of different creatures.
Oh, maybe the original gnomes can form just from the forest or old forest growth.
Yeah, so maybe the city gnomes are the ones who have kind of like left the forest and kind of adapted to a more urban way of life. They've left the rural areas. Gnomes are domesticated. Well, they could be domesticated. I mean, a lot of gnomes by this point could require humans in order for their portals and things to exist. So yeah, we could consider them to be pretty well domesticated. And I do like this. Okay, now that people are talking about pottery nymphs, masculine gnomes look like garden gnomes. Feminine gnomes look like nymphs. They look like, you know, tall sylph ladies. Like there's an incredible like
How do you spell it? Sylph?
Svelte, sorry. Svelte. Svelte.
Yes, extreme sexual dimorphism.
Yes, extreme sexual dimorphism among the gnomes. Feminine nymphs are Thumbelinas. I do like them being like really tall and slender, and then masculine gnomes are like really, really short.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do they interact with our shifters?
Well, feng shui is spelled just so I have it. Yeah, I don't think there's a space.
I swapped some of my vowels.
Well, maybe well, they're kind of maybe. Well, they don't like shifters, obviously, because gnomes are more aligned with plants, and shifters are more aligned with animals. So there's this inherent difference here.
Plus, they also they pheromone wrong, so...
Yeah, they pheromone wrong. I mean, that's the basic thing. They just smell bad.
Yeah.
And, of course, gnomes would smell like pollen, I suppose. Maybe shifters are allergic to gnomes. Yes. Other species are allergic to gnomes. They emit pollen pheromones for science.
Pollen pheromones. So when you get really bad allergies, there could be a gnome nearby.
Gnomes, ragweed gnomes.
Ooh, that's true. Gnomes could be used to deter shifters.
That is true. Yep. Pigeon shifters are always pooping on their heads, and deer shifters are always eating their gardens. Yes. There we go. There's just like, get off my lawn.
Their portals.
Gnomes have get off my lawn energy.
Yes.
See a really pretty flower. It's the nymph's pheromones. Yeah, so like if you actually encourage and cultivate a good garden, that will cause, gnomes and nymphs to kind of come through there frequently, and their pheromones will help you win best garden in your neighborhood.
Ooh, yes.
So always the annoying people in the homeowners association who have very strong energy with the gnomes. I do like how someone put nymphs with a G at the beginning. I think that's great. The fact my response to this is just okay, right? Thank you. We're very serious always, RA.
Well, this stream, long past all the other streams, had real concepts. This one was just the final shenanigans up until like a week ago.
But shifters do hate gardening. They like eating gardens, but they probably don't like gardening.
Yeah. I feel like nymphs would have large lesbian nymph communities. I feel like there would be a large portion of...
But you wouldn't call a gay gnome wouldn't be a bear, he'd be a badger.
Oh no. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, badgers and weasels. There we go. Not bears and otters. Done. Those are smaller. Oh my goodness. So we have the other worlds. We have all of our mints because we're incorporating all of these different earth and forest spirits into gnomes. Lack of social divides within their groups. I mean, they're just gnomes and nymphs.
They're just gnomes.
Yeah.
They know it.
What is their social organization, though?
HOAs.
HOA? Yes. Garden owners associations. So you have like neighborhoods of gnomes. Yeah, homeowner associations of gnomes. Perfect. We've got the blood feuds. And HOAs are notoriously ineffective, so we're perfect. Gnomes have the power to like drastically improve agriculture. They could be used by the Dutch to produce beautiful tulips for that meme, but nobody utilizes gnomes in any kind of industrial way.
Yes.
Gnomes are hot.
Yes, they are hot.
They're hot in different ways.
I have a thought for that, which answers Jake's questions on how do they reproduce.
Yeah.
What if their reproduction is not sexual in nature? It's just like pollen based, it's just pheromone based. It'll just happen if you're by it can just happen, which is part of why they have such large like queer cultures, because the pleasurable side of it isn't typically like, it's almost like they're like different species, but they're not.
Yeah. Well, you need both in order to like create a new gnome, but like if a nymph and a gnome are near a garden, you could get like a big pumpkin or a watermelon or something, and it'll eventually, a gnome will come out, or a nymph with a G. The better garden you have, the more gnomes there will be. Yeah, pollen is sexual. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have? Putting the G in LGBTQ, but it's pronounced it's a ng. It's not. It's the velar G. The velar N. Sorry, the velar nasal. Thank you, Jake.
I'm making
what else we got? They're hot. Of course, they're hot. Special bloodlines. I think for
Jake.
Yeah, gnomes just grow from the ground. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think for special bloodlines, maybe the features of the gnomes and gnymphs come from they're associated with different like cultivars of plants. So, if there's a watermelon nymph, she'll have like red and green hair and neat skin patterns and stuff.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. in the UK and Jake is clearly showing the effects. I'm here for, though. That is what this is for. We are all tired. Our brains are broken from thinking so hard, and so we're making. Yep.
Hidden supernatural societies no one figures out. We've got the HOAs already.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people make pacts. Brownies. Maybe people make pacts with gnomes and leave them treats in order to win their, garden associations and things. That's important. I think that's human governments, cops, and militaries are useless. I mean, I don't think they really care all that much, but
lawn flamingos or a natural predator.
That's true. Or maybe that's like, maybe that's like oh yeah, lawn flamingo. That's a good point. Yeah, because that's an animal. Let's bring animal energy into
they've got to be bad. They've got to be natural predators.
Lawn flamingos are ops from the flamingo shifters, 100%. That's why they get broken all the time. Maybe their skin is photosynthetic and they have leaves instead of hair. That's a good idea. I don't know. I like the idea of them having maybe their hair does function like leaves, but it is hair. Lawn flamingos are ruthlessly hunted. There's one gnome who has just like a necklace of lawn flamingo heads. All of the.
I like it.
All the neighborhoods he's cleansed.
Yeah. All right. I feel like that's probably kind of relatively well-rounded for gnomes.
I think that's good for gnomes. We need another one, and I'm gonna jump off for a sec.
Sounds good. Someone needs to inform. Hydrated. That's good. That's important. Someone should inform Jesse of our gnomes, because Jesse, in theory, is awake right now. Where is she? Oh my gosh. Oh, good. Thank you, Jake. All right, so we need to pick our next supernatural creature. I know the only other, suggestion we had, I think, was Fae, but I will take new suggestions, and once I see enough to, under no regulated fashion, determine that it is enough of a majority of the comments I have seen so far, or I just like the suggestion, I'm going to go for it. Okay, we have 1 vote for vampires. Okay, 2 votes for vampires. Sold. That's all it takes for me. Okay. 3 votes for vampires. Dying. All right. Okay. We need to ground vampires into reality. Okay. Okay. So, do we have anything special for vampires? We don't. We did have some thoughts on like immortal beings, which I do have like I've wanted to write a or maybe not actually write it because I don't think I would actually enjoy writing it, but I feel like it'd be cool to have supernatural beings that are immortal or anything that is immortal. And the way it works is just they have really, really bad ADHD, you know? I feel like that could be good. I don't know if these vampires need to be immortal, but they are sort of undead, so I feel like that's pretty consistent, unless that's our one thing that's not really real about them. And me too. Because I'm just thinking, like, if you live that long, like, think about how long things would just, you'd have so many memories. But if you have ADHD, like, you'll just forget it all the time anyway, Like, I don't know. Could be a thing.
Very important. Okay, now we have to do vampires. Very important is silviculture. So like orchards and like tree gardens essentially. So I think there have to be tree nymphs, sliffs. Sylphs, sliffs. We can have them as well. I think that's a very important part for our gnomes and nymphs.
You are very quiet now.
I'm very quiet. Test 1 2.
Okay.
Is it better?
Yes.
Excellent.
Forgot to say convenient water break. Yes. Self-care. Absolutely. Hashtag self-care.
Hashtag self-care.
Yeah. Okay. The only thing we've said during vampires is if we go with immortal, I always like the idea of making immortal creatures that the reason why they're so normal and aren't so completely like unhuman-like is just because they have really bad ADHD.
Oh yeah. Like, and they forget stuff.
Yeah.
Like you only have, like your memory doesn't change. Like you have a human brain.
Yeah.
Humans live for such a long time, and you just can't collect everything that you need to collect.
Yep. And you have enough like ADHD hyper focus that like you get super into stuff, even if you've done it before. And also then you just like totally get distracted and do something else. So you're not like a god at doing one thing because you've done it consistently for 100 years. Like you've done everything a little bit or something.
So yeah, I mean they're not demons. They're not like, they're not son of like, super enhanced or whatever. They're humans. They have human brain capacities, and maybe the ADHD like feature, maybe this hyper focus thing. That's why when a cross or something is presented to them, they're like, oh no, that's not good. And I'm thinking of Peter Watts, actually, who's a Canadian science fiction author who wrote a fantastic book called Blindsight. Talks about vampires whose brains work differently, and they don't do well with right angles, which is why the cross keeps them away.
They really hate geometry.
Yes, they really hate geometry. They don't like rulers and things. Neurological tradition where they only have memories from when they're rich, even if they're like lower middle class. Alternative neurological tradition. I think like perhaps if vampires have courts, which we have established,
yes.
they all believe they're like marquises and things. They may have started as lower class or middle class, but they've been pretending, like they've just been in the vampire court so long that
it's like
that's
LARPing.
all they are. Yeah, they've LARPed so long, it is real life. Yeah.
I like it.
And they forget, right? Like, you
right,
LARP.
Yeah, they don't remember not being royalty, so obviously they are nobles.
The vampires fake it till they make it.
Yeah.
Which, is a couple decades, depending.
Yeah, but I feel like they wouldn't even be so rich, right? Because if we go with ADHD-like features, maybe their impulse control is kind of crap, so they just spend all their money on really weird, dumb things all the time, so they don't
Yeah.
acquire, like, a ridiculous amount of wealth that would have really, like, significant effects for society.
But I like the idea that maybe vampire blood can make people suggestive.
Ooh.
So the vampires are not very good with their money, but maybe when they drink from someone or when they give them their blood, it makes them very suggestive to give them their money.
Ooh.
So vampires are very good con artists and at pyramid schemes. Like Anna
Mm.
Delvey would be a very good vampire.
They're rich on vampire currency, which doesn't have a good exchange rate. Yeah, exactly. Always alright. Like, the random things that would come to them out of nowhere would be like, "Ah, yes, and this thing that happened 300 years ago, I really don't remember anything about that or that that happened, and I've forgotten about that for 200 years, but that was a thing, and it just popped into my brain just now."
They don't get to control all of the different impulses that pop into their head and all the intrusive thoughts. They're also hot and therefore have pretty privilege. This is true.
Yeah.
Vampire neutral life. I do think that the vampires are running cons and various schemes and grifts.
That's true.
They're really into crypto. They're also on like Facebook pages trying to sell people, sawdust mixed with vitamins in order to like make them vigorous.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they're like the vitamin people.
They're the vitamin lobby. That's why there's no regulations in the United States and stuff on all these vitamins and things, all these supplements.
Yeah. The supplements. The supplement industry.
When they called it the Body Shop, it wasn't very subtle. And as people are involved in pyramid schemes and things, they look more drained. They get more scattered. That's because there are vampires higher up the pyramid who are like constantly draining them. Old vampires are also real estate agents, obviously. That's a very good one for them to be in.
I like it.
Vampires started the Beanie Baby boom.
Okay, wait. Are they telemarketers? Or a telemarketer is not good enough? That would be too much.
No. That seems... They're not telemarketers. They're the people... Vampires are the people who are kind of orchestrating all the email scams, though.
Yeah, like all the random fads, because they get really excited about the new thing, and they're like, this is the new way we're going to make money.
If you get a text from a random number that says hello and then tries to like get you to sell them gift cards, that's probably a vampire or someone that a vampire has trapped and is sucking blood from. The ones that gambled away their wealth can be telemarketers.
Yeah.
Pyramid schemes, vampires live in the pyramids. Well, mummies can be vampires, sure. That seems all right.
What can be vampires?
Mummies.
Oh. Okay, we do have a very important thing we haven't touched on yet. How do you make a vampire? Are we going with the typical one? We do need to figure out what our Achilles heel or false Achilles heel and our what makes them different thing, which could be the ADHD. That could be what makes them different.
No, I mean, I think we're just trying to like rationalize our way around like the immortal thing where it's like, they appear to have very little focus and have a lot of intrusive thoughts because their brains are just so crisscrossed with neurons that like they can't it's very difficult for them to. Yeah, this is starting to feel allegorical.
I know. So for like half of these supernatural races are just like allegories for various like underrepresented.
Not that like kills them; they just don't like any kind of flavor in their food. I mean, maybe certain vampires have very particular preferences.
I do like the vampire trope of siring other vampires who recruit other vampires is basically an MLM, so I think we should keep it.
I think we should keep it. Siring vampires is important. what was the other thing? I don't think like stakes to the heart and decapitation and burning and stuff like that would probably just kill anybody. I mean, wooden stakes, I don't know. You need a lot of force to get that through a rib cage, but like, you know, if someone could manage it. Um, what is there? Or maybe rather, the vampires need to feed on people to get blood.
Yeah.
Maybe they can expend blood for kind of a glamour that lets them be very suggestible. Their hotness comes from this kind of like latent blood magic that they have going
That
on.
produces pheromones.
Yeah. It produces pheromones.
They're just allergic to silver. It's a skin irritation, so they wear gold.
People think they can't see vampires in mirrors, but modern mirrors don't have silver, so they can't be seen in mirrors. Fake Achilles heel. That is pretty good. You can't see vampires in polished bronze or silver. Because a lot of archaeological sites have like bronze mirrors and copper mirrors and things as well that are polished. So it has to be a metal mirror, and a lot of contemporary mirrors don't have those kinds of metals in them.
I dig it.
Yeah. So we got that special. So, and if we do like they have blood and they can kind of use the blood that they consume as glamour to make people suggestible, then we have their own unique system that they're using that is different.
Yes.
From the other groups we already have. Blah 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 pheromones. And they organize themselves. Well, the courts they organize themselves into now seem to be pyramid scheme courts.
Yes. Their courts are just pyramid schemes.
Do they still call like the person in charge like a duke or a count or something? Or do they call them pharaoh?
Oh.
This is very important.
I feel like it would change, right?
Yeah.
Like they would get excited and be like, I'm now Duke so-and-so or whatever. Like they want to be seen as pompous around like normal people, right?
Yep.
You know?
CEO. Yes, Jake, CEO. Yes. So they could be count, they could be CEO, they could be guru.
Yeah.
You can't see vampires in mirrors because their reflections got distracted. I imagine the title depends on how old the vampire is. That's true. You know, maybe they just keep it around. Maybe it's a nickname.
Yeah, maybe they get really attached to it, or maybe they just like random other ones, you know?
Maybe they like tattoo their name and other information under their skin. They kind of look like the pheromones. That's good. That's good. We are at almost at the 30.
So we need a new one. Unless we have a wrap up.
I think Faded makes my sense. Special bloodlines. I mean, yeah, like each special bloodline like comes from the top of this pyramid, right? So there's going to be like different schemes of vampires.
Exactly.
They're hot. They make other vampires by, I guess, yeah, giving like you know, if someone feeds off a vampire's blood, then they get to join the scheme. Yes. I'm very happy with that. Lack of social divides within supernatural groups. I mean, they're all homogenous. Yeah, like they're doing the same stuff. They do affect they affect economics insofar as they're just doing the economics. Like they're not like none of these vampires is being like employed to like do useful things. They're just selling nonsense, right?
Right, like, exactly. Which like
yeah. Competitive schemes and generational hatred. This is true. Why don't they like gnomes or shifters in addition to pheromones? Shifters and gnomes don't care about this upper class lifestyle. They think they're pompous. There's class conflict because they're and vampires don't care about the environment. They're making all of these like nonsense products. They're extractive. Vampires don't really care about gardens. If vampires have animals, it's just kind of show them off or to sell them. Always RA. Vampires have trickle-down economics. Perfect.
Okay. Vampires are impressed by their ability.
Yeah, and vampires, of course, they're allergic to gnomes. And then they don't like the smell of shifters. And shifters and gnomes don't like the glamoury smell of the vampires. So I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I think we're going to do, I think pretty much one more, right?
Yeah. Unless we get through it quick and then we can maybe do a small bonus one.
Yeah. All right. We need another one.
Let's hear it, people. The vampires are behind the Protestant Reformation.
Well, vampires don't really have a work ethic, so I don't think that's...
That's true. Okay, Fae. It's Fae.
We got 2 Faes.
Which is all I need. I have issues with their politics. All right.
Oh, we also have ghosts. Maybe we should give it a sec. All right, we got 2 Faes, 1 ghost.
I feel like we can fit Fae and then maybe try and fit in ghosts or something.
Okay.
All
right. We did get 2 Fae. All right, so the Fae courts. I think we do want to kind of royalty without courts or politics, like the Sealy Queen. So I do think we want to cling closer to the aristocracy here. What I think would be very fun is that, much like many aristocratic families around the turn of the 20th century, the Fae courts have lost a lot of their properties. So they don't have much wealth, but they do still inherit titles. That could be an opening for us.
Okay.
That could be a fun opening. Because then we have royalty, we have these titles, but we don't actually have politics.
I feel like, are we going to have them be of different seasons and stuff like that? Is that how they'll name the courts?
I'm thinking if we could come up with... So if we go with seasons, then that means that places with different seasons, right? So if we have a winter court, would we have a wet winter court and a dry winter court, depending on how much precipitation there is? Would the Mediterranean winter court be different? This is one for the... this is one question. What is something else that we could do for the Fae? I know, because there's also I've seen night and day Fae.
Yeah.
That is another one.
Yeah, lots of seasonal time-based Fae of different times. Monsoon court and dry court. Yes.
Yeah. We could also
region
have hourly courts. Or we could have mealtime courts. The dinner court.
Brunch court.
The brunch court. The brunch court. Big in California. That.
All those types of things.
Maybe the courts, they just hold court over north, south, east, west. That is interesting. Dawn, noon, dusk, and night courts. No, it have to be dawn. Yeah. Midnight court. Economic quarters. Q1 court, Q2 court. They made too many courts. Okay, there's a court for every period of time that is subdivided. The court of second breakfast. Yeah. So you could have a Q1 court. You can also have a winter court. You have a dusk court. You have the 9 to 5 court. You have night court. But night court is specifically like Judge Judy is a fae.
Yeah, yeah.
But then and maybe these fae are.
Ooh, yes, the fae would all be parts of potentially multiple different courts. Like, I am a rank 1 brunch court and a rank 12
yes,
rush hour traffic court.
Yes. Well, no, they're a duke of night court, and they are a knight of the 9 to 5 court, and they are you have to list when they come to brunch. They have to list all of their, and of course, brunch happens in a pocket dimension because they have to have separate dimensions.
Yeah. So they have their own
dimension worlds. The courts have their own dimension worlds where their time is constantly happening. So 9 to 5 court, it's always time for work. Brunch court, it's always brunch. There's always those orange champagne drinks. For last call court.
Ooh,
always last call. Yes, last call court. Gay crisis court. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere court. Yes. Vacation court, very important court. And I guess in the UK they call it holiday court.
But they're not the same thing.
Not the same thing. You could then have specific holiday courts. You could have the Christmas court, for example.
That's true. Would be more specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mimosas. Okay. Thank you so much, 11059.
Yeah, mimosas. Yeah. Mimosas are good. Island.
And the thing is, when people create a new holiday, it's chaos because then all of the fae have to get into that new dimension. And when you arrive in a new dimension, it's first come, first serve for the titles.
Okay. Fae rush in, first come first serve to claim titles for new holidays / time divisions. Okay, what about this? There was once a new calendar invented.
Yes. The Gregorian court.
Yeah. But it would create so many courts within it that there was just absolute chaos, like a time of great chaos and.
Yeah. Birthday is ridiculous. Yes. However, but maybe the dimensions for these courts, the actual place of these courts, geography hat, is the size is different depending on how many people participate in it.
The pocket. And also potentially the length of time?
Yes. So like birthday court, like my birthday court would be quite small. And it wouldn't be very prestigious to be the king of Lands Unknown's birthday court. But if Canada says like, oh, we need a new holiday in October. We need a public holiday in October. All the fae are like ready. They're like, I want to be the king of this new public holiday.
Yes, it does capture the absolute feral nature of the fae. They wait anxiously for the new Japanese regnal names. Could buy individuals' birthday titles in bundles.
This is the ultimate bureaucratic nightmare, but it's not bureaucratic. It's just about the titles.
Yes.
There's no bureaucracy. It's titles without anything else. The Gregorian court overthrew the Julian court. Yes. No, and the Julian court is actively trying to overthrow the Gregorian court. So the heirs of the Julian court have this conspiracy where they're trying to bring it back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I have another idea. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's lots of different like tiers for all the different courts of their rankings, right? Mm-hmm. So what if when they have a dispute and they're trying to figure out like who outranks who, it's based off the proximity to like their highest ranking things, and so it creates these complex matrices of like who has the most like dominance at an exact point in time.
Yeah. Yep. That's very important.
Which also they argue about for so long that then the maths change.
What would happen if Eastern Orthodox Christmas and Catholic Christmas fall on the same day? Well, then they need the protagonist to solve it.
War. Oh my gosh.
The Mayan calendar court had a real hard time in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. When the clock was invented, they just kind of lost their shit. Okay, they're hot, obviously. We have all of these bloodlines because, you know, Fae can inherit positions, or, you know, if you're the king, then your kid is the prince. No one figures these societies out, obviously. They're very busy. They're not affecting any industries at all, literally. They are waiting for the industries to create new holidays for them to get in on. Yep. And like if a Fae court has a holiday, but the holiday doesn't really mean very much, and then suddenly like people try to like capitalize on it and like make it a new thing and have like Arbor Day cards or whatever, like suddenly they get a lot more important.
Yes, and Jake is on a good direction there, because anything that would accentuate the number of people that participate in a time, right? Mm-hmm. So they would invest in those types of things. So a lot of investments and art, holidays, coupons for happy hour, you know?
Yeah. Whenever you meet someone and they're like, hey, I heard Thursday's the new Friday, that's a Fae of the Thursday court.
So they are sort of like, they're constantly lobbying for their various times.
Oh, we have pheromones.
Okay, hold on.
So pheromones are something that we need. We also need all the myths are true. Like every time zone, every culture is accounted for. They have their own separate metaphysics, and they have a lot of other worlds. We do need a false Achilles heel. They're very unique, but we do need the pheromone bit.
Yes.
And the reasons why they feud.
Do they have the pheromones have something to do with their like pocket dimensions?
Yeah, they have like I don't know, like a new car smell or whatever that like whenever the pocket dimension pops open, like a little perfume. All of the different courts have their own perfumes.
Ooh, yes, Nemo.
Yeah, whenever you're like stealing time from yourself and staying up late, that's the night court.
Atomic Half-Life Fae.
Fairies keep trying to make the Santo Muerte fairies. Yeah, they want her folk holiday to like gain more prominence. There we go. The skinny lady court. So
Doomsday. Hold on. Doomsday cults could be
apocalypse courts, because you already have the 2012 Maya stuff in there. There we go.
Yeah.
Or somebody mentioned that. Brilliant.
Yes, planner calendar industry.
Yes. Agenda courts. Save the date.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we do. So yeah, fantastic amnesia. Perhaps when you're hanging out with a Fae, like no time passes at all. So it's like one of those double take kind of moments. Deja vu. There we go. When I keep thinking it's Wednesday, is that due to pheromones? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the poof.
That is the pheromones.
Thai tourism holidays. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
What
I'm
is it
for it.
though? Oh, it's iron traditionally, right? Is it iron that is like cold
Yes.
iron is something Fae don't like?
Yeah.
Maybe
Because we don't have the false Achilles heel yet, so it
that is
could
what we
be.
need. That's the
Hmm.
that's the two parts we need. We need the false Achilles heel. So cold iron does nothing. Um what could cause a Fae? Okay, but we do need the false Achilles heel. We do need the actual thing that causes them. Like
Mm.
cold iron doesn't do anything, but we do need something a bit more inventive. That's an actual weakness.
Alarm clocks.
No, but that's wake up time. That could be
That's
like
true. That's true. That would
a
yeah.
court.
Okay.
Um.
Hmm.
Oh. What is the flow state? But no, but that'd be something that you could do. That's not something you could do to them.
Relativity.
They're true names.
Oh yeah.
So they don't use their names; they use their titles.
Ooh.
Iron is a traditional 6th wedding anniversary gift. They're not well liked.
Compulsive counting is a common trope. We
Yeah,
could
no,
go with true names, and
true
that
name.
is like still a real, like they do
Yeah.
actually have a true name
They
thing.
do
But
have a true name, and if you are able to like weed through, and they have to mention their true names when they're introduced at some point in all of their
you have to
titles.
remember them,
You have to get it.
which includes titles, all their ranks and titles.
So they could,
Various.
if they gain a new title or they change rank, then they could, that messes it up. You don't have control over them anymore. All right.
Yes.
Why don't, okay, so
Yeah, true.
why don't they like shifters? I mean, I guess comparatively, like shifters just kind of don't care about like the times that shifters care about. Like they're just kind of responding to natural flows of things.
Yeah, they don't care about the like nonsensical divisions of time.
Same thing with like, I mean, I guess gnomes and nymphs, like they do care about seasons, but like they don't really value necessarily like the bloom of a plant more than the seed, right? Like it's the whole process. So maybe, gnomes and nymphs are too holistic.
They're the hippies.
Gnomes don't like the fairies because the success of flowers is misattributed to them. That's true. Spring doesn't bring flowers. If you say give me a minute, but it's actually 40 seconds, they hate that shit.
Like they need it to be exact and very literal amounts of time because it messes with the courts. And
so when I said like give me a sec earlier and it was actually like 3 minutes.
yes.
If you trap a fae, you can trap a fae in a waiting room. You could trap them if they need help on something, if they like make a call to a helpline. And it's just na 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 na, like that would just drive them nuts. Or in an elevator, if the elevator gets stuck.
I like
if the
it.
bus is late.
I like
no,
it.
This is bus time. How would they deal with a Groundhog Day situation? Well, I think their courts are kind of like Groundhog Day situations.
Yeah. Like they would have a court of Groundhog Day.
Well, yeah, and like a court of Sunday, it would be Sunday all day.
Yeah.
So, what happens when the clocks go forward and back? Okay, the courts of daylight savings time and what is the other one? What is it? Say there's two.
I mean, it's not an amount of time. It's just
PSD and PTD. No, but there's like this. You separate the
standard
year.
time, daylight savings time.
Yeah, you separate the year into those two courts. So where people and other fae may want to get rid of daylight savings time because that would like injure those two courts.
Yeah,
those two courts want to keep standard and daylight savings
Yeah.
time.
Well, and obviously it would be different for every time zone too. They would have their own courts.
Every time zone has its own court. Very important.
Yep.
And vampires.
Oh, we have that one. They hate vampires because of their time blindness.
Okay, that's good.
And the reverse is equally true. The vampires hate the fae because they're such like nags with time.
And like the vampires don't remember when things happened. Like, you know.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Ooh, can't touch that hammer time.
All right. Hammer time. Okay, so we have 10 more or less 10 minutes. Do we want to try to speed run through? I saw ghosts.
I saw ghosts, and I also saw like gods and divinities and wanting their children everywhere.
Ghosts are deities.
Okay, we'll just combine them.
Yes, ghosts are deities. They're the same thing. When a place is haunted, that is because a deity that was worshipped once is still lingering there.
Ooh.
Ghosts are deities who have no followers. Yep. And they're desperately trying to get followers. And they're like, witness me! And they like make paper fly off a desk. Zeus throws lightning bolts and I can just do this shit.
So for deities, their power comes from their followers.
I think that's pretty standard. I think
that goes in with that concept.
Yeah. So the pantheon, your position on the pantheon, and all pantheons are true, obviously. Your position on the global pantheon is, or your regional or cultural pantheon, is determined by the number of followers you have. And deities hate vampires because those conspiratorial assholes take away followers. And in turn create new deities or create new portfolios that new deities can adopt. So there's a QAnon deity. So gods are influencers. Yes, 100%. Gods are now influencers.
Yes.
This is
all American. The influencers, are just like various gods vying for attention and follows. Follower count.
Or maybe like perhaps maybe their heroes are the socialites and the celebrities and the influencers, because the gods themselves are kind of immaterial, I suppose.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, when an influencer is gathering up followers, what they're doing is, conducting rituals to, funnel devotion towards their deity. So all influencers are conducting secret rituals behind their TikTok streams. The ghosts are in the machine. How do new deities form? Are there a set finite number of deities? Just cycle through reincarnations of being powerful. I think it's interesting if there is a more or less set number of deities and what they kind of encompass changes over time.
So they're almost like sort of reincarnated in a sense, into the current like belief system.
But they can also be syncretized.
Okay.
And so maybe deities can also be like smushed together, and then later they can spread apart. Yeah, like maybe there are a set number and they can just kind of cycle through. I mean, there's only as many deities as there are points of worship, I suppose, or points of adoration. Is being well known and talked about enough, or do they believe because it's even more? When you confuse two celebrities, it's just two deities being syncretized. Yes. All the different Pauls and all the different Matts in movies just kind of mush together. Hestia is now kept alive by the people who love their Aga ovens. It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so like, like if you create new ecosystems for worship, then deities can kind of like spread into that,
Yeah,
and try to, take those followers.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe they're set number, they're like Legos, and they can combine and split later and join different gods and conglomerate different gods later. Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like maybe there is like, yeah, there's a set number, or maybe there is like just one sort of divine energy, and it's been fractured into all of these different forms. But there's a specific amount of God stuff.
I mean, matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It applies to God stuff.
Yep, there we go. God stuff cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be divided or amalgamated.
Yeah.
So like all the myths are true. So like whenever there's a deity, that deity is that deity.
Oh my god.
Ineffective magic councils. I mean, the deities kind of get to do whatever they want. I mean, they're just kind of influencing people and trying to get followers, but they're not doing it like for the industry, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not being harnessed for economic use. They're just trying to amass followers. It's about mass for them.
Yeah.
It's about selling all those concert tickets, which the vampires may be happy about, because they're the ones who make the concert tickets prices so high, in order to fund their habits. So there may be some intersections in certain points between some of these groups, but they hate each other.
Yeah.
Special bloodlines. Perhaps each deity like remembers the previous incarnations they've had. I mean, they're obviously hot. That goes without saying.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of forgotten deities running around.
And they're just little ghosts.
Yeah. So maybe the creation of ghosts aren't necessarily the deities themselves, but when you forget about a god, that act creates a ghost. That's sort of like that lost soul of them, because the stuff gets reused, right?
It's an echo. It's like the divine echo of a forgotten incarnation. That's good. That's good. Are there pantheons? Yes, all the pantheons.
Yeah. For making the arts expensive because it limits their festival spreading capabilities. The God stuff echo.
The God stuff echo, yeah. So it's it's just kind of like reverberating, and that's good. That's good. Other worlds. I guess there is like a divine level of existence where like the ghosts and divinities and stuff.
That's true. Their divisions are, yeah. And also, I feel like the pheromones can also provide sufficient justification for their hatred too. Because like, what if like the proximity of, because like I feel like maybe the ghosts don't have pheromones, maybe, and so then the presence of other pheromones can like mess with the ghosts, and people have this nostalgic ghost worship of their like past self echoes.
Maybe when deities do materially manifest, they're like biblically accurate angels, and the pheromones that emerge in the puff of incense when they appear is just very overwhelming for all the other supernatural creatures. The ghost god.
Gods and gnomes.
A house with ghosts doesn't have people and can't have gardens. Right. Yeah. The gardens get overgrown and all craggly and gross because gnomes won't go there. True. The nature gods can't get people to go somewhere without going outside. That's why all of the people want you to touch grass.
Mm.
They just want people to watch travel shows. What else do we have here? A false Achilles heel. Well, if the expectation would be if you get rid of followers, you get rid of the god. But in that case, the god doesn't really go
Right.
away. They just kind of
Yeah.
get absorbed by other deities.
Right. Could also be that exorcisms don't really work.
Exorcisms do not work. You cannot exorcise a ghost. You just have to wait until the echoes stop reverberating. It's more of a time thing. Maybe you need to install spiritual insulation.
Ooh.
That kind of like dampen the echoes.
I like it.
Yeah. Yep. And of course, no. Pantheons, of course. All deities are organized in pantheons. That is their supernatural social stasis.
Yes.
Whether or not we're aware of what those pantheons are is something else entirely.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah. You wouldn't download a ghost deity. And the vampires are very upset about this.
Yeah.
Once you believe someone has a ghost, you start believing in it, and the ghost becomes a god. Oh, or a piece of divine stuff. Yeah, maybe that can make a very confused minor deity.
Yeah.
And of course, if a ghost or a demon or whatever it is that's supposed to be infesting a place, it wants more followers. It wants more notoriety. It wants ghost shows to go there so that it gets more recognition and it gets more belief in itself. So that some ghosts are minor deities that are actually like trying to get all of these paranormal research shows going. But the gods are also all the same thing. Yes, like they're all like a split, and they remember all of the things they have been, but only when they smush together do they get to share that information again before they smush apart. Maybe deities release a strong scent that overpowers vampires. Yeah, I think incense, like some kind of I think like a burnt smell, maybe like burnt offerings. So that they stink and nothing like that. Yeah, they have a very overpowering smell that nobody likes.
Okay. I think we have... Yeah, that they have... They're very pheromonious.
Are mediums real, or are they just charlatans and ghosts hate them?
What if the charlatans of mediums are actually vampires?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
And ghosts hate it. The deities hate it. They're like, no, like, what are you doing? Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, nobody finds out about deities because they either live in like a transcendental deity spirit realm, or when they materialize, they appear in this, fire and brimstone that's so overwhelming that just normal humans immediately just kind of like black out for a sec.
Yes. Thank you, Nemo. This is some A-level world building content.
Where are you going to get this? You're not going to get this on Reddit. You're going to get it right here.
That's true.
Madeline James World Builds.
And this is the exact type of thing all my books are.
But I think importantly, so then something that I discussed earlier is that the protagonist of the series, like the important people that are human, would be these specials, and they're the ones who have pheromones that all of these other supernatural creatures are in tune with and think is hot. Even if, the protagonist is maybe kind of plain, when they're described in the book, they just have brown hair and brown eyes. 5 fingers on each hand. And so, the deity wants to visit them, to romance them, to be one of their followers. It's very important that the special is one of their followers. In the UK, we use B.Tech as a kind of insult because it's the vocational equivalent of what you call A levels. Oh, okay.
17 to 8-year-olds?
Maybe vampires can see ghosts, but they don't say anything correctly, so the ghost is just shouting at the vampire medium when they want to do their thing.
Yeah, I do like that.
I like that the vampires know exactly what's going on, but they're just doing whatever's best for them making money.
Yeah. Like, that's their trend.
Yeah.
A bachelor.
Someone with a bachelor's in tech. I don't know if I like that. Oh. So yeah, what if we? I'm really excited, and we got like a pretty good mix here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got ghosts and deities, we've got fae, we've got vampires, we've got gnomes. I think gnomes is a good.
Gnomes are great.
No, the gnomes and the combination of ghosts and deities really throw this a bit, because I think fae, vampires, and shifters are like kind of the standard.
Yeah.
But in after book 5, like book 6, like
I know.
Suddenly something else is in the world, and it always has been.
Yes, it's always been there.
You just haven't noticed. Like, what?
I know.
Like,
so we could totally do more of these.
So book 1 was shifters, and like shifters are a thing. The character gets into shifters, gets a shifter lover. The shifter pigeon flies into their room and transforms back into a human with no clothes, and there's a whole thing. And then in book 2, gnomes get introduced, and the character gets to fall in love with a polycule of gnomes. I don't know. Maybe gnomes have polycules. And gnomes have always been there, and the shifter partner is like gnomes. Dirt people, like, come on.
Like, what?
Yeah.
All we need to do to defeat them is hide all of their garden gnomes. Like, come on.
When people put like those little stone frogs or whatever in the middle of a garden, gnomes hate that.
Yeah. Okinawa, yeah.
Mermaid sounds like a good anime beach episode. Yes, of course, that's a human shifter and a fish shifter. The gnomes being homeowners associations.
I do love that.
Yeah, and then like the and what you find out when you get to book 4 is that all of the conflicts that have been happening in the previous books have, of course, been over different periods of time, and the Fae courts have been orchestrating it the whole time. But nobody knew, you never mentioned the Fae courts. Brilliant. And then the 5th one just kind of slows down and becomes a bit of a paranormal investigation with a ghost that then becomes more of like an Odyssey sort of thing.
Yeah.
As more and more deities get involved, and the character's like, what? There have been like all sorts of gods this whole time.
Yeah. Yep.
And you may have like a hipster deity who's like, I'm the deity of vinyl now, but I used to be Poseidon.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be so trippy.
Wears like a sideways like black hat with a trident on it, of course, and like all the deities like collect the various symbologies from their previous incarnations before they get to this.
Yes, I like it.
Vampires and deities are the difference between grind set influencers and people who actually do the work, but get overlooked by the management, who are probably Fae. But then the shifter love interest turns evil for no reason, and the protagonist has to get involved with the vampire stuff.
Yeah.
For final time, like the stream, everyone.
It's kind of sad that it's gonna be over. I feel like we've all been like hanging out for like 3 days straight.
Oh, they're free.
We did all of this for free.
Yeah.
So check out our stuff.
check out
Buy
our
my
stuff.
book. I don't know.
Pre-order.
Pre-order my book.
Madeline's book. Make sure you follow Madeline James Writes and Madeline James Reads and Madeline James World Builds.
And Madeline James, I don't know, used car salesman.
Entering your vampire phase. Please follow Lands Unknown. Watch, if you haven't seen the State stream or the Chariot stream or the Making and Breaking Religious streams, come check those out. Madeline has a Patreon in addition to her book, and I have a Ko-fi. If you throw me a tip my way, I'd really appreciate it.
Check it out.
Yep. Madeline James Gardens.
Yes, and if you want to hear about, I will probably send out a form of some form on the newsletter. So if you want to follow that, you can find it on my website for the festival, on the Worldbuilding Festival page. It's linked in the description, and that's also where we'll send out communications for Worldbuilding Festival 2, which will, what were we saying? The icon will be like
a cricket with a jar of yellow liquid and a strawberry bird, I think.
Yeah. It'll be great.
Yeah, no, World Build Festival 2026.
Yeah, every year's like logo will be based off the most prominent memes from the previous years.
And we can continue to book 6 and beyond.
Yeah. True.
This was a lot of fun. I think that was great. Or we could actually start building a plot within the world. That would be.
That's true. We could start outlining.
We could start outlining next year. In a few years, you may actually get a book.
I know. We were joking that this might turn into us creating like one of those like you subscribe to get chapters, and with how busy Will and I are, you get like a chapter a quarter.
That's true. Will's last swig of it's actually Hufskuld, which is a nice pilsner, but we could imagine that it's some other liquid.
Yeah, true. I was really tempted to like get lemonade or something and just be like,
oh no.
Yeah. Yes. Will this be annual or just one time? I think it's been a positive enough reaction that I think there'd be no reason not to do it again. Probably annually would be my guess. I don't know if anyone's been like, I think it wasn't really my thing. I don't want to do it again. I feel like everyone's like, yes.
Yeah.
Next time,
Space Dragon, the typical human is more or less immune to pheromones. A special is a person who is affected by pheromones.
Weekly. I would die. It's going to take me like weeks to recover from this. Like, oh my God.
Yes, as our Knight Petrichor says, thank you again, Madeline, for organizing this. I may have suggested it because of how well the Mapathon went in bringing all sorts of different folks together in kind of an ad hoc way to, creating this wonderful weekend that we all got to share.
It came together surprisingly well. Yes, it's okay, Madeline. You can sleep now. Thank you. I've taken the next 2 days off so I can recover from this since I
Well, your book's done. Like, you got to pre-order it.
Well, I still need to finish setting up the paperback pre-order, which I did actually literally during the group world building stream. I got the link that my account was approved and I could set up the pre-order. I was like, of course it would wait till right now. Yeah. Okay. Are we done? Are we out?
Fey job to schedule. Well, the Worldbuilding Festival has a court now.
That's true. Yes!
Please, in the forum, provide your suggestions for the names of the king and queen of the Worldbuilding Court.
Yes. And everyone get to sleep.
Everyone needs to have a good sleep.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye. Yes, names and titles. Good call, Jake. Bye. Thank you all so much for attending.
Obviously, Madeline's the queen of the Worldbuilding Court. There we go.
I'll take it. That'll be my official title as organizer. Bye.
Bye.